Hey y'all, hey y'all, welcome to Candid Conversations. Hey everybody, I'm so glad y'all have tuned in. Listen, go ahead, like, share, let people know that we're on. How y'all doing? Come on in the room, okay? We are live and we want y'all to jump on in. I hope your day has been phenomenal. Hope you are enjoying this week, enjoying this month. We are coming to a quick close of the year, and it is absolutely crazy. But I hope that you guys are enjoying. Let somebody know we on, y'all. Let somebody know we on. Y'all know how we do. Go ahead and share, like. Okay, I see y'all coming in the room. Welcome. Thank y'all for joining. Thank you for tuning in. So glad that you have decided to join us. Listen, y'all go ahead and say hey to your girl. Come on and say hey to your girl, okay? It's been a wonderful day for me. I've been chilling, y'all. I got back in town early Monday morning, and so I've been chilling and getting some much needed rest. Let me know how y'all doing. Thank y'all for joining. Say hey, say what's up. I don't see y'all chiming in these comments. Come on and talk to your girl. Okay. I'm so glad y'all have decided to join. Go ahead. Hey, Carl. Hey, Pastor CB. What's going on? Glad you're in the room with us. I believe you're gonna like tonight's show. We got an interesting show for y'all today. So glad y'all are in the room. Hey, Mama, I appreciate you jumping on. My number one cheerleader. I appreciate you so much. Hope y'all feel good tonight. Hope y'all are feeling good tonight. Y'all, it's going down. The temperature is going down. It's not as hot as it was. And so I'm really glad about that. Hey, Jada. Hey, Sasha. What's going on, Rudy boy? Let's go. What's going on? Glad you're in the room. Glad to see y'all coming on in here and chiming in with your girl. Listen, I'm not going to hold the time because y'all know our time, once we get to talking and conversating, it gets to going. I just want to remind y'all, for those who have been faithful and consistent with us, y'all, some of y'all know and some of y'all may not know, but we're getting ready next month for our live in-person show. That's right. You see it right there on the screen. October the 14th at 6:30 p.m. is going to be at the Recharge Faith and Empowerment Ministries, our good family over there in Jonesboro, off of Jonesboro Road in Forest Park. That's our fam, y'all. They letting us come through. They say, hey, y'all come on, bring the show, bring it live. We want y'all to have a live audience. Want y'all to have fun, y'all. It's gonna be dope. I'm telling y'all singles, get in the building. We got some special stuff. We got some special treats for y'all. We're gonna have a comedian in the building. We're gonna have food. We're gonna have some games. We might even have some prizes. In fact, for my single sisters and my single brothers, y'all been saying we ain't got no places, no connection places where we can come together. Well, y'all need to be in the room because y'all, we got a game. It's gonna be kind of like a love connection game, okay? And we got some candidates that's gonna be out there, and it's gonna be fun. So y'all want to be in there, okay? Y'all want to be in the building. It's gonna be absolutely dope. And I know this is for the singles, but we got so many married couples, married people that show us some love. So if y'all want to stop through, we ain't gonna stop y'all, okay? Y'all can come on through the building too, put y'all 2 cents in. We appreciate it. So yeah, but for the singles who's looking to mingle, y'all be in the building, okay? Men and women, you just never know. You might meet your boo thing, okay? So I want y'all to be there. But yeah, so y'all be on the lookout for that. And also we are still promoting a single that I was featured on with Ollie Richardson called Pray For Me. I want y'all to go. Yes, there it is on the screen. It is still on iTunes. It's still out there. You can go and get you downloaded. And I pray that it blesses you. We've been getting a lot of good feedback from it. So we're pretty excited about it. And your girl got a single that's coming out next year. So we're excited, y'all. We on the move. And the team, different ones, got different stuff. So, y'all, we trying to come through. We're trying to end this year strong, trying to go into 2024 with a bang. So, yes. All right. All right. Well, listen, I told y'all I ain't got much to chit-chat about before we get started. I'm going to go ahead and let the gang come through. Y'all already know how we do. Hey, y'all. Hey, gang.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody looks so vibrant.
Prophetess.
What's going on, man of God?
Listen, it's always a pleasure to see you. You still got your women's conference hair in. I love it.
Hey, Prophetess Allison. Hey, Janae. Hey, Miss Wanda. Hey, y'all. Well, it's good to see you too, Mark. And it's good to see all of y'all. Marquell, Mr. Smith. Come on, Angela. Angela over there looking like, honey, a housewife, $1 million housewife.
Yes.
Hey,
you better come through with that good Sheen outfit on.
Yes.
She better come through with that Sheen outfit on.
Baby, don't try my friend. My friend has a whole boutique, a whole online boutique, PG Plus. Tell them about it. Let's put that plug in there. Tell them about it, baby. They probably can find that nice little piece right there on there.
Whatever. You better come through with your T-Moo house coat on. I love it.
Don't play with me, Mark. Whatever.
Tell him if he don't take that Alibaba polo off, I know something.
Not Alibaba.
Yeah, I went Alibaba. He ain't even worthy of Sheen or Temu. Alibaba with it.
Listen, crazy. Just because you get your clothes and your hair from the Old National Flea Market, that ain't no. Just because you still wear
Old Nat no more. Thank
whatever. Just because you still wear FUBU jerseys.
Why your horse head on the other side? It's supposed to be on this side.
Just because you still wear platinum FUBU jerseys with the 05 and the fast stab on there, that ain't no reason to come at me, okay?
Oh my!
You went to the flea market on this point.
Whatever. You better come through with that auntie backdrop you sitting in front of right now. Come on.
That's right. Luxury. The auntie that had money, right?
Mark, you got the fat farm tennis shoes.
I got the. That's right. You still rocking a baby fat overcoat, so I ain't mad.
Now Mark got them FUBU shoes. Y'all know FUBU?
No.
Yeah,
Them
Mark still got some conies.
No, I was just about to say.
Let me find out you still rocking a Jabot denim suit. So let me find that out.
I don't even know what that is.
Don't do it.
Let me find that.
Hey, if they come out, I might have me an outfit. Don't play with you.
Exactly.
This all because we're trying to give somebody a compliment. Y'all see how we show love to each other. It's so toxic.
What's up?
Let me find out they both rocking their cross colors over there, Sean. I'm be so
Oh
upset.
Lord, don't you do that. Don't you do
Let
that.
me find out y'all still rocking cross colors over there.
Oh,
Anyway, all you all look nice for what it's due. I was relaxing today. I was like, I'm gonna put on my little sweats. And I'm like, I be all spruced up, but and then today I was just like, hey, let the blonde do the talking today, you know. Y'all know I'm so corny.
Gosh, you look cute, Steph.
Thank you, darling. Listen, you probably come on, tell them about Peachy Plus. Why we on this, and then we're gonna go ahead and go on with the show. But tell them about Peachy Plus.
It's my online boutique catered to the plus size woman, the full-figured and fine. Okay, you can catch me on Instagram, Peachy Plus _ FFF. No, it's Peachy Plus FFF. Sorry, and then peachyplus.com.
There you go.
Come through Peachy Plus. Coming to a rainbow near you.
You're so lame, bro.
Yes, I am a Georgia peach. So they call me Peaches. It's Peaches. Okay, so yeah,
right. I love it.
I have worn a few pieces, purchased a few pieces, and hey, they are nice and good quality. So yes, ladies, go ahead and shop with your girl, and she won't disappoint. She won't disappoint. All right. Well, listen, tonight, y'all, we got y'all know that every other week for the last month, we have been, each person has been rotating, honey, and they've been facilitating the show. So y'all know how that's been going now. It's quite such interesting conversations it has been, but it's been fun, good topics. And like I say all the time here, we don't have the answers. We ain't gonna say we got the answers or the solutions to anybody's relationship ills, woes, whatever the case may be. We're just discussing relevant topics as it relates to singleness, dating, relationships, wanting to be married, things of that sort, okay? And all of the ins and outs in between that. So that's what we do over here. And I'm so glad that you guys find some sense of enjoyment, entertainment out of it all. Each week, every other week that we come in. And so tonight is no different. We all have had our different topics and it has been fun. And I don't know if I should say we've saved the best or the worst for last. We'll let you all decide that by the end of the show. We'll let y'all determine that by the end of the show. But tonight we're going to have Mr. Mark Fortson, Kevin Samuels 2.0. He is going to be facilitated and coming with these interesting topics that he wants to talk about tonight. So without further ado, I put it in your hands, Mark.
Oh, man.
Listen, giving honor to God, who's the head of my life. Thank God for all the saints and friends, all the preachers on the roster. Giving God my life, health, and strength. He woke me up this morning and started me on my way. And he didn't have to do it, but he did. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. So I just want to give my testimony. Amen.
Please start with the answers. We just hope your Wi-Fi is good tonight. That's all we hoping for. That's what we praying for.
I'm sitting close to the window tonight. I'm sitting close to the window. So my neighbor's Wi-Fi is on point tonight. Thank God.
Praise God.
I appreciate it. Well, listen, I just want to thank everybody for being here. I appreciate everybody tuning in. And you are right. You are correct, Prophetess Caldwell. You have saved the best for last. You know what I'm saying? Now, I I remember when you called me to come do this show, you told me keep it real at all times. Remember?
I did. I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but we about to see now.
well, we're gonna keep it real tonight because I got a couple of topics. Hopefully we'll get to both of them and everything because I think there's some real cool topics. But the first topic we will be discussing tonight is body count. How many is too many? Okay, so let's just go on and keep this thing a book. All of us done been grown out here in these streets, all right? So that means it is what it is, and some of us done did it more than once, all right? With more than one person. Let's just go on and keep it a book. You know what I'm saying? Some of our numbers are higher than others, Jericho, but I'm assuming.
My mother is on here, okay?
So, your mother. Well, God, what she need to know. Well, she need to know so she'll know how to pray for you. You know what I'm saying? The Bible says, "Confess your sins one to another." Amen. Come on. Mm-hmm. So, but we want to talk about, at this stage in life, y'all. Like I said, we're all over the age of 35. I presume, or over 30. I'd say we're all over 30. We've all lived the life. We've gone down our respective paths and everything. We've done what we did. But let's say you have a potential mate. You meet somebody. They check all the boxes and everything. But you say, man, they seem just a little too suave, a little too friendly, and everything like that. But they reveal to you, y'all get to talking and everything, and you start talking about your future and what that looks like, and so forth and so on, and you want to know what you're getting into. So, the topic of sex may come up and what that may look like moving forward. And so you say, well, hey, listen, I've only had 3 or 4 people. What's your body count? They say, well, I done had 300 or 400. I'm just saying. How many is too many? I'm going to start with you, Marquel, you know what I'm saying, since you're the only one on here that's got halfway good sense. I'm going to start with you, Marquel. You're the only one that's got halfway good sense. These ladies, man, they throw it off. Because I can't wait for their answers. But Marquel, let's just say, hypothetically speaking, yeah, I appreciate you, brother, I do. So, how many would be too many? Now, remember, she's nice. I mean, I know that, but what's your starting point? Like, is it 10, 20?
I don't know, man. I want to know, but I don't want to know. Does that make sense?
Yes,
I want to know, but I don't want to know. Like, I don't want to know everything you didn't incur unless it's just blatant. Now, if you know what I'm saying, if you done been with everybody, unless it's just blatant in my face, like, the deacon, the pastor, the usher. If you just been with something to everybody, I
not
mean,
the deacon and the pastor.
Yeah, if you done been with something to everybody, I'm gonna have an issue with it. But like I say, I'm not necessarily asking for information like that either. Not necessarily.
Okay.
Not necessarily. So I don't know. I say anything probably over 10. Maybe over 10. I said anything maybe over 10. So
she said she's been with, right. So she said, let's say she said she's been with 15 in her lifetime. She's 15 guys, but she's a nice girl. She checks all the boxes. Is that a deal breaker? 15?
Not necessarily. Because I'm not running the vagina Equifax. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to run the vagina Equifax. You know what I'm saying? Now let's see who's been there. I'm not gonna run
the Carfax on them, boy.
Right. Not everything I necessarily want to know unless it's just blatant. And let's be honest, how would you ever really know? Because you can't do it. How would you ever really know? Would you even really want to know?
To be honest, nah, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I don't.
Anything past 2 gonna be too much for me to handle. So I'm like, oh Lord.
Oh my God, no, you're not talking. When can we chime in?
Okay.
If she give you her actual body count, she got to be real honest.
What you mean?
Going out.
Hello? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Marquel. Oh,
yeah, I'm right here.
Marquel, say what you mean she got to be real honest?
She got to be real honest to tell you she been with 15, 20, however many people. She is real honest. Which it's a gift and a curse, but like I say, not everything I want to know, dog.
Okay, Miss. Okay. What Mario Winer says, I don't want to know, keep it on the low.
Right.
So, Prophetess Caldwell, you meet a nice gentleman. He checks all the boxes. He treats you right and everything. And then y'all talk about the future and what that looks like. You talk about expectations and what that looks like. You tell him, hey, and I've heard you say many times on this podcast, your dating history isn't that extensive. So, but he tells you, hey, I've been with over 50 women in his lifetime. How many is too many?
Well, because I believe in the blood washes and redeems. You know what? Being real. So, and it, of course, I heard Marquel's story and everything. I feel like when it comes to that, there's a double standard, because when it comes to men, women will give grace to men if they've had multiple partners or a lot of partners, because unfortunately, it's the thing. Like, men are encouraged, and I've said it before, to spread their wild oats, to be out here in these streets and be loose and wild. But for women, men, y'all can't handle that. If a woman was to give y'all her honest truth about how many men she's been with, especially if it's a woman that has had quite an extensive experience out here sexually, y'all can't handle that. So it's one of those things that, me personally, long as he disease free, and he he ain't got that, he bring it to me at this particular time. We didn't went to the health board and the health department, and everything's still good and intact down there, and it's working. Because when I get married, I'm gonna keep going to work in a mighty good way. Because I've been waiting a long time, my God. So I'm gonna need to work.
I gotta piggyback on this boy. I gotta piggyback on this.
Go ahead, Marquel. Go ahead.
I would think a woman will be happy if a man is like experienced.
I was thinking the same thing.
I would think she'll be a little bit more, because I know nobody want no community, but if he been with more than 3, 4, 5 women, you got something got to be eyed about him.
That ain't always true.
I was just about to say that.
What about 10 plus then? 20?
There are a lot of men, just because they out here, that some men may know how to talk a good talk and get women in the bedroom. That don't always mean that they might know what they're doing in the bedroom.
That's true.
I can get with that.
Especially if they was younger. But man is young, you messing with young women and stuff like that. Half of the time, you young, y'all in y'all late teens, 20s. The woman don't know what she want, don't know what what sex really is about, and neither does he. So he out here, bumping it, but he ain't, for like real intimacy. A lot of men don't even know what real intimacy is, and it goes beyond sex. You know what I'm saying? It's not just sex. It's not just, y'all, this is a grown folks show, right, sticking it. But, so just because somebody been with a lot of people,
is a better word, man.
Who says that, Stephanie?
Penetration, not sticking it. That's not the proper
term. But y'all know what it is. Jericho, I'm about to say, who says sticking it? Who says that?
Y'all understood.
Third grade? Right. Stephanie, I swear I love your innocence. I do. I swear I love it. Miss Angela, how many is too many?
Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm having connection issues. Forgive me, but okay. Do you have STDs? Okay, that's where I'm gonna go with it. I'm not gonna put. I personally, before we got together, is it coming with baggage and issues? That's more my concern, honestly. Before we got together, that hey, I'm not gonna put your past against you. Is it coming with baggage and issues? That's what I mainly care about. I'm just being honest.
Okay, I can. Oh Lord.
I mean, I would look at you sideways if you given
Really?
this crazy number. I might be like, my God, you know what I'm saying? But honest,
what's a crazy number?
I don't know.
200 or 300. I mean,
of course,
that's a porn star, Stephanie.
Yeah, that's a dope.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you said
of course. If it's 100 anything.
Okay. Go ahead.
I was saying, of course, if you 100 anything, that is crazy. But truth be told, I believe it's not hard for some of these guys to accomplish that. So I don't know. I can't put a number on it.
I got you. Okay. Come on, 5-starter. Come on,
thank you. Absolutely no more than 10. I don't want anybody with more than 10 sexual partners. That is entirely too much. First of all, that's too much. We talking about physical baggage. That's too much spiritual baggage. You have had so many spirits attached to you as that. No telling how much spiritual warfare I got to do to bind and loose you from all that mess. Like, no, thank you. No more than 10. And I want to say this too. Somebody lying, because when I looked up the stats on sexual partners for men and women, the average woman has 4.3 male partners in her lifetime. The average man has 6.3. So somewhere somebody lying, these men lying, acting like they getting all this behind, but they really ain't getting it. And it kind of tells in the bedroom. And I can correlate that to why 80% of women say they are unsatisfied sexually. So somebody's lying. So apparently these men's body count ain't that high. And no, that much to choose.
Hold on, wait.
That goes back to what I said earlier. Just because a man may have sex with a woman doesn't mean that they know what they're doing sexually, you know? And so a lot of men don't understand real intimacy. A lot of men, you know, like I keep having to put this disclaimer out there, y'all. This is a grown folks show. So we talk about in-depth things. A lot of men don't even know about foreplay. They don't even know how to get a woman there. You think, you know, of course, speaking of people that's married and stuff, you come home after a long day. If you ain't engaged with that woman prior to wanting some at that night or whenever you want it, then men sometimes automatically assume it's just, okay, you go there and that's not how a sexual stimulation works for most women anyway.
What I'm saying is that they had such experience with all these women that they claim to be bagging and putting on their belt, then somebody along the way would tell them, hey, I don't like this, I don't like that. So I'm going by, okay, let me pull up some more stats.
That's not, Jerica, that's not really true. I have this conversation for whatever reason, grown people, adults who are having sex, who are intimate with someone they don't talk about and don't like. That's why a lot of women, as you stated, are not satisfied. I had, me personally, 3 kids with no orgasm. I'm sorry that we're taking it there, but you mean to tell me 3 kids and oh man has given me an orgasm? It got to a point where it's, hey, I'm a grown woman. We're going to have a discussion here. And I found out that there are a lot of women, who are not satisfied because they don't talk about it. So women will not have told them.
Yeah. So are y'all saying that there is mainly guys out here that's just doing the one hitter quitter, and that's how they get these high numbers? It's not that they spinning the block with these women. They getting them one good time and then they dipping out. Is that what you're saying?
It could be, or it could be
no.
Woman just might be afraid to, you know, men. A lot of times women are afraid to hurt men's ego and really, you know, inform men of what they need. And so a lot of times women will, you know, keep their mouth shut because they, for the sake of, I don't want to bruise his ego, because most men automatically think they Mandingo and they really.
Okay, Steph.
I've heard.
Ain't no man gonna say, no man is gonna tell you, well, I'm not that great in the bedroom. I don't really know what I'm doing. They're not gonna tell you that. They gonna, everybody gonna be, I put it down.
That's gonna come from experience, though. It's gonna come from some experience.
Well,
like, yeah, you said I'd be honest with him.
I'll be honest with you. Like, you may or may, it's a 50-50 chance. You may or may not.
Oh, God.
But a lot of times, men and women view sex differently. A man's not necessarily, his penis not connected to emotions a lot of times.
Right.
A lot of the women that a man get with, he's just not really into it. Just sex to him. It's just something to do, which is not necessarily great as you get older, because as you grow older, you see women see it completely different. Like when a woman lets you on her body is something completely, totally different than what it means to a man. So that's a lot of the misconception. A lot of men learn how to have sex basically from porn. Mm-hmm. So learning how to get down there and really connect with a woman is, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's the part that's gonna take all the work.
Right.
We really has to be.
It goes back to people are not having that conversation, which is dumb. Because how dare you lay there?
Earlier in her response, she said that she's not gonna hold his past against him, right? She said, what you did before you met me, I can't hold that against you. Well, let me ask you this: what if that guy was with somebody that you know? What if he was like with a friend of yours or a family member? He had been intimate with one of them. Is that a deal breaker? What would you hold that against him?
A family member?
Oh, wow.
What the heck?
A family member or a friend. Could be a good friend, or whoever.
So you saying that this person, okay, y'all are just talking, y'all getting to talk and trying to engage with each other, but the person has been with a family member and they end up telling you, I've been with one of your family members.
Yeah, family member or
I'm not staying around.
No.
For real?
What
you say, Angela?
That's enough. I'm not staying around. If it's a family member, it's a no. If it's a friend, what are you considering a friend?
Yeah. How close of the friendship is it?
Is this a cousin's friend and she's just a friend of the family, or is this my friend?
Friend, yeah.
She's a friend. She's a friend.
Oh, well, I'm not staying around. I'm not interested.
You got her number. Okay.
No, absolutely.
What about you, Jerica?
Absolutely not. I don't get secondhand men. I don't thrift shop for men. No, sir. Absolutely not.
Wait a minute. How is that thrifting for a man?
Because you get somebody sloppy seconds. That's like your mama giving your cousin secondhand clothes. Like, no, I don't do that.
Okay, your mama give your cousin secondhand clothes.
But Jerry,
that's like your mama giving you your cousin secondhand clothes. No. That's the same type of concept.
But
that's not saying.
But Jerica, by that logic, hold on. But by that logic, Jerica, aren't we all somebody's seconds? We're all somebody's. We were with somebody before we got together. So by that logic, then you know.
Okay, well, by that logic, I would rather get them from the consignment shop than the thrift shop.
Girl,
it's different when it's somebody that you know, and if it went to
not
if you was talking to that person or y'all may have like talked and it never got intimate, but if it got intimate, then it's like you gotta, in your mind, you gotta know that person know what your person was like in the bedroom, this and that or whatever. Because I mean, how is it for y'all guys? If you met somebody that your friend or your family member fit, could you still be with her or marry her? Or
if it's your homeboy,
y'all, if it's somebody that y'all just trying to have sex with, that's different. But I'm talking about like somebody that you actually trying to be in a relationship and possibly marry.
No, I wouldn't respect them.
How you wouldn't respect her? She didn't know.
You know what I'm saying? If basically, let's say for instance, you and I, Mark, if you talk to a woman, then she come and try to talk to me. Yeah, I mean, like, she know we know each other. Yeah, I mean, I can't get out like that.
Oh, you talking about
okay? Well, yeah, that's a different variable. Okay, so
Okay.
that's like if she know that, but man, Atlanta is big, but Atlanta is small. So it's like we, what I'm saying, we a lot of the people, a lot of us know the same people. You know what I'm saying, and what's the odds, bro? You know what I'm saying. So if I met a girl who used to date you back in the day, and let's just say, me and you run into each other one day, and she tell me, "Hey, listen, I just got to keep it a buck with you. Your homeboy, I know him. Like I know him from back in the day. Can I really be mad at that?"
No.
And they knew each other. That sounds like a scripture.
Right.
right. And Adam knew Eve.
Right.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I mean, I don't know, but Jerica, I don't know if I agree with that logic though. I mean, being somebody
don't have to
sloppy
agree
seconds,
with
like
this. If I know you, if I have to see you again, if I have to be around you at some point, even on a consistent basis, and knowing that you have been with my man as a friend or a family member or a friend
that's
of the
not
family,
gonna.
that's too close to home. That's too personal in a way. Now, maybe if you was a chick I used to know back in high school and I didn't really, you know how you had those associates, you may have bumped into them, talked to them here and there. And then you find out y'all may be dating this, have talked to the same guy or whatever. That's different. But family member, friend of the family, friend of a family member that's close, that's too close for comfort. Now, that's
okay.
Like
So somebody brought up a point one time on Facebook, right? Somebody brought up a point on Facebook about, we've all seen the movie Soul Food. And we all know that Terry, the rich auntie, she used to date Vivica A. Fox. Vivica A. Fox's character, her husband back in the day. But he really liked Vivica A. Fox while he was dating Terry. But he ends up marrying Vivica A. Fox. They started a family. Somebody said they was like, it's time to admit that Vivica A. Fox, she was in the wrong. Is that true?
Absolutely.
Yes.
They were in the same home under the same roof. Yeah. They're blood related. If my sister turn up with and it wasn't like they were little small puppy love. They were in high school. They were like a couple. So this was like,
old enough to know better.
Right, old enough to know better. Like they were really a couple. You know what I'm saying? Those terms.
Right.
And that's like my sister doing that to me, or me doing that to my sister with Marquelle. Like, no, she's absolutely off limits. And now watching that movie as an adult, I realized that everybody thought Terry was the one in the wrong. No, everybody else was in the wrong, and she was actually in the right. She was made to look like the villain when she was really the heroine.
Okay, but what about the heart? The heart wants what the heart wants.
Whatever.
He really liked
what the heart don't want. You can't just people kill me with this. Oh, you can't help who you love. You absolutely can help who you love, because your heart grows fond of the person that you spend time around, you talk to, you communicate, that you involve yourself with. If you're not involving yourself with that person, if you're not communicating with that person on the intimate level, then you're not going to fall in love. You're not going to have that heart. Like, no. You can help who you fall in love with. That's just a cop out when people just want to do what they want to do and sleep with who they want to sleep with. You can help who you fall in love with. That's what black men say when they go to white women and say they can't help.
You do this every time.
Well, it's the truth, because all of this stuff correlate. Y'all don't see how it's connected and bridged together.
Why does it got to be black men? Why does it got to be? You have such a vendetta against black men, and I don't understand it.
Black men are the number that marry the most outside of their race. That's why I said black men. I mean, I could say Asian men, but that won't do any justice, because they don't marry outside of their race like that. I could say white men, but they don't marry outside that. So black men, that same is correlate with black men. How they say they with, as Umar Jones would call it, the the bunny crosses. So they'll jump with these snow bunnies and say they can't help who they fall in love with. But you, like Trust said, you teach your heart who to fall in love with, because it's a matter of who you're around, who you're giving your time to, who you're giving your attention to. I don't know.
You saying basically don't put yourself.
Everybody have their preference.
Exactly. I mean, I don't personally, if you know, as long, if you ain't married to the person, y'all ain't been dating for an extensive period of time. Let's say y'all been kicking it maybe 3 months, and somebody else come along who's just better. Can you really help that? I mean, it happens.
At that point, you got to be honest.
Right.
But how do you know that person is better? Are you looking at, is that the 80-20 rule, that you think they're better because they're giving you 20% of what you don't get from the 80? You know what I'm saying? The grass is not always green on the other side, because a lot of times the other side is fake grass. So,
Jerk, you ever thought about being a lawyer?
Somebody told me
because you will argue your face. I love
it, child. Jericho would end up in jail for contempt of court every single time.
I wish you was the judge.
Right, I need you to judge.
Because every black man will go to jail. All of them.
I think he should be.
Don't let her be like in family court. When it comes to child support, everybody going.
Oh, absolutely,
everybody.
I don't
70% of your paycheck going to your child, and the first time you miss it, you behind bars. Yeah, I'm gonna be running.
The first time,
I'm gonna be running like Victor Hill. I'm gonna be having y'all Negroes behind bars left and right.
Jericho, explain your hatred for black men. Explain your hatred for black men. Explain your hatred for black men. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. No, you don't. No, you cannot possibly love black men.
I love black men, but I hate niggas. That's what it is. And a lot of black men are niggas, and that's just be honest.
Don't say you hate. Hate is a strong word.
Well, I can't say hate.
You exactly
no, she being honest. Don't tell her that, Stephanie. She being honest.
I dislike niggas, people that don't have a sense of community. People don't have a sense of consciousness. Black men who are caught up into this red pill community, like you with Kevin Samuels 2.0, like how disgraceful. But at the end of the day, those are the men that I dislike. I love black men. I despise niggas.
No, because you qualify all of your rebuttals with black men do this and black men do that and black men don't da 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 da. You didn't say niggles. You didn't say dead.
Well, I can't say that. It wasn't. It's hard to separate niggas from black men because we have so many black men that are niggas, and that's just point blank. We have a
Jericho, you got more.
We have a
Jericho, you got more loopholes. You got more excuses than a nigga going to jail. That's how you sound right now.
And how many of those are incarcerated? Let's get on that topic, okay? So
I'm sure you done put a few of them behind bars. They
Hey,
probably
I
safe
cannot wait
behind
for
bars
you.
fooling with you.
I can't wait for you to meet a real man. I cannot wait.
Exactly.
Why
I can't wait either, Markwell. I can't wait to meet a real man that's gonna change my
I'm gonna tell him to run for his life.
No, look at what she used to do. No,
I'm gonna tell him to run for his life, Mark Will. I swear I am. Run for your life, dog.
I'm just nervous that he'll see her on this show and be afraid and be like,
No, because see, a real man knows that I'm speaking facts. A real man is going to see that I'm ready to build community.
You are not speaking facts.
A real man know I'm speaking facts. A real man knows.
Listen, I'm as real as they come. But you're not.
Oh, please. But you have Kevin Samuels 2.0 on your thing.
That's right. I agree.
So let me ask you a question.
I'm going to have to go back to the bishop on you because you weren't raised right somewhere.
How many women choose? How many women choose niggas over real men?
Well, see, there's the thing. It's such a large pool of niggas that plucking out the real men is like a needle in a haystack.
But so you don't have to deal with the niggas. You can let them go. You know how to deal with
you do, but see, this is the thing that Black women were held on to so long dating within our community. We were the least women to marry outside of our race. So it's like a Black man actually said this. He said Black men feel like just them existing is enough because we know that Black women are not going to leave out. They're not going to go outside of their race. So they pretty much stuck with us. So just a Black man existing is enough to get a Black woman. And that's sad, but it's actually true. So it's such a large pool of the niggas that trying to find a decent Black man is
Can
like
we say ninjas? Can we say ninjas?
Okay, well, ninjas, let's say that. It's such a large pool of ninjas that trying to ask the Black man, why is there such a large pool for us to choose from in the first place?
you don't have to. You can bypass them. You don't have to. You don't even got to look their way, child.
But that's what we're doing now. But then you do that and you get a brick in your face. So which way is
what
it?
I want to say? I want to chime in here because it bothers me that when Jerica says, why are men such as Mark and Marquel, the quote unquote good guys, the good men, why are y'all so offended instead of just honestly being real? Like, yeah, some of our men need to do better. Like she is speaking facts. She is not exaggerating. It just so happens that she's speaking on this and so touchy, and people want to be so in their feelings and take offense thinking that she's talking about you and your kind. Your kind is not a common man. He's not.
Listen,
she's speaking a whole lot of facts.
Jerica
she's making a generalization.
That's the issue I have. She's making a generalization. She's grouping us, and she keeps saying Black men. She prefaces all of her rebuttals with Black men. Like that's the qualifier. She don't say men. She says Black men. And that, my dear, is not true.
When you're talking to, okay, true. But when you're talking to someone like Jerica, someone like myself, someone who enjoys these conversations, it's not categorizing everybody. Like, no, she's not speaking in general, but she is speaking on a large scale or on of you guys. It's common sense. She's not speaking about everyone. Like,
right, because we say white people as Black people, we generalize white people all the time. We say them white people. We know it's not all of the population of whites, but we still say we generalize.
Get that.
But it's still wrong, though.
But unless you've dated all the Black men, and you have hard numbers to prove that, you're still making a generalization. You know what I'm saying? It's like you want a good man. What is a good man? You want a good man with a low body count. Is that what you're saying? All the good men have a body count below 10. Is that what qualifies as a good man?
Somewhere only 12% of men have more than 10 to 14 partners. So all these men that's swearing they have 20, 30, 40 women, somebody's lying. That's what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, yes, still too many partners is too much for me, just because of my spiritual beliefs that I don't like a lot of spiritual soul ties and attachments and all that kind of stuff. But
what if that's not an issue for him though? What if that's not an issue for him? Because and the reason I say that is because I'm gonna be transparent with you, okay? I'm 44 years old, and yes, I've had a considerate amount of partners in my lifetime, okay? And I can sit here and honestly tell you, I have no ties to any one of them. I promise you, I don't sit up late at night dreaming about it's anybody in the past. We did what we did. That's water under the bridge. I can move forward with a young lady, and it's not an issue for me. So
Man of God.
Yes.
Man of God, how many times were you sat down in church? Because I know that you wasn't supposed to have that many. Did they sit your butt down?
Sit me down for what? I didn't get nobody pregnant.
That's another thing in the church. That's a double standard in the church. being the male
Why you say
Listen. The only reason women get sat down is because you can see the result of what you did. You get pregnant. Everybody can see that.
I'm glad you admit
it's not about what you know. It's not about what you know. It's about what you can prove. Can you prove?
Where can you prove that's scriptural to do that?
I mean, it's not scriptural, but in reality, it's not saying that it's right. But unfortunately, that is. I mean, you are not judged or reprimanded on things that people cannot see. It's the things that people can see. I wanted to go back to a comment that we were talking about, the generalization. I have to agree with Mark in the sense of, I feel like generalization is wrong, just because I'm a woman that don't like when men generalize all women. So for us to say, and I think we had a conversation with another good friend of ours too, and at that time we were saying, but you can't say all black men, and I feel the same way. As much as I totally agree as well, like you and Angela, at being a black woman myself, and knowing how challenging it is as a woman in her late 30s trying to date and connect with a decent gentleman of the same race as I do understand the challenges of trying to find a decent quality man. And when we say quality, I'm not saying he has to be perfect. I'm not saying, he has no errors, no flaws, but I'm talking about as far as general good character, really know what he wants, really being honest, really being faithful, all those things, have a decent job, have vision, trying to, move forward, do something. It is a challenge. It is a challenge. And we as black women, we know that. And I don't know if, like me and y'all will tell us, y'all just think it's a lot of good black women out here, but it's not. Well, we're letting you all know. But I still feel that it's wrong to generalize, because if we say, oh, black men, that is throwing every black man in the same bucket. And I'm not a mother.
But is she saying all black men, or is she just saying black men? She'll just say black men. She's not saying all black men.
But if you just say, it's still. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, Stephanie, but it's implied. If you say black men, you ain't got to say all. All is implied if you start.
That's not implied, because when we say
grow up, then if that's how you take it, grow up. Because we should not have to say, well, some black men or this percent of black women. We should not have to go through all that. Grow up. Know who you're talking to. Know who you're talking to. Understand who you're talking to.
And I say that because if you listen to all the Red Pill podcasts, and I'm sure you tune in, even the Passport Bro, they say, because black women is.
But it doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it right.
I don't think they're talking about me. I don't think that they're talking about me just because they say black women. Come on.
Angela, I applaud you on your maturity. That's cool. But we're talking about implications.
So then you mature.
I mean, it's cool, but I'm saying when she says it, it comes off as a generalization.
Yeah.
Now, if she gives a disclaimer, I'm not talking about all black men. I'm saying some. I can rock with that. But she doesn't do that. She starts off. She comes out the gate, black men. What am I supposed to think?
That's sad. That's sad. Yeah, do you know how many times I've heard single mamas this or females this? If I sat up and thought they were talking about me every time, come on, they're not talking about me. All of them are not talking about me.
This, you know what, and I agree with you, Tam, on this. And even though I hear what you're saying, Angela, but I can't agree with that, because again, it's still not right if you don't say, and like Tam said, and this is an example why sometimes men don't feel hurt, because we're telling them the same way we did a few weeks ago, said why we don't like WYD. They're telling us we don't like when y'all say all or black men, because it is a generalization. She said they're telling us about how they feel about the language we choose, yet we're shutting them down because we don't like it, and that's unfair. And like I said,
so let me clarify. Let me clear my name on that, Tam and Stephanie. I'm thinking this is a man and woman issue, because there are women who get highly offended if black women this and single mamas that. Y'all be thinking they talking about y'all. So for me, I'm not trying to shut down the black man. People, period, grow up. Just because you hear somebody say a black man or a single mother or a baby daddy, they are not talking about you. A hit dog is gonna holler. They are not talking about you. So I'm not trying to shut down the black man and not let him be heard, because I have an issue with humans doing that. That is annoying to me. It's like, come on.
I don't. When a man says something like that, I don't think they're talking about me. I know that, but I'm just saying, regardless of, it's still a generalization that we shouldn't do across the board, no matter who it is. Whether it don't even have to be black. It can be like we were talking about earlier. If white people, can assume all, you see the news and they assume, all black people are dangerous, or we can be on the opposite side and say white people are racist. All or not, but it's still a sense of generalization. And I'm not saying that you might, as a person, might say, they talk about me. No, that's not talking to you, but it's still a sense of a generalization that should not be done across the board.
Not to me.
Men are supposed to lead, and if the men are supposed to lead, once the red pill community and the passport bros and all of them stop saying black women, and generalizing us, then I would stop saying black men, and generalizing them. I will put a precursor in front of it.
So everything on the plot of everybody. So I get it. Everything on the plot of everybody. I get it. I get what she ultimately, just take what you need from it and discard the rest. But I hear where everybody coming from.
Marquel,
and then you just said,
let me. Can I ask Marquel a question? Marquel, let me ask you something.
For it.
If you were in front of your woman, right? If you were in front of your woman right now and you made a blanket statement and said, "Man, black women ain't nothing but, freaks and hoes." Do you think she? I'm just saying, if you just said a blanket statement, "Man, black women ain't nothing but freaks and hoes," do you think your woman would get offended at that?
No, my woman, the way I do, we gotta put on boxing gloves. We gotta pull out old wrestler man.
Right. And you can easily say, well, baby, I ain't talking about you. But what's she gonna say? Well, you said black women.
Mark, no, we're on a show, a podcast where we're talking to an audience. That is so different from talking to one person. That is different. I'm not going to say
every man when I say black men. It's obvious
you can't justify. You can't justify that.
Stop. Who talks like that? Stop. I'm sorry. Who talks like that? Who talks like that in a room with one person? Who does that? Nobody.
But it's still wrong. Whether I'm guilty of sometimes categorizing. I can admit I'm guilty of saying, man, black men. It's so many. Me and my sister talk all the time, and I can admit, and I'd be like, man, black men, these black men, I'm so wrong with them. They mind, but it's not right. Whether I'm doing it, I don't care who doing it. If it is still wrong, you can't make something that's wrong right. And a lot of times we gotta be real. It's wrong.
It's not wrong. It's not wrong because you're not in your head. Guess what? It's not wrong because I'm not generalizing. What's wrong is you took it as generalizing. So wherever the communication is messed up at.
Angela, but here's the trick part. You said, well, if he said, black women, he ain't talking about me. But the trick part is he is talking about you. He is. You're just choosing not to accept what he's saying. That's all it is.
No, he's not. If you have ever, I'm telling you, because if you ever heard me say black men, baby, I'm not talking about all black men. That's dumb for me to really think that all black men, whatever I'm saying, that's the dumbest thing for anyone to do. So if you have ever heard that come out of my mouth, I am not talking about all black men. That's ignorant.
Okay, but I'm saying that, but you have to put a qualifier on it, though, is what I'm saying. Otherwise, it's going to sound like a blanket statement.
When we are talking, people don't do that.
But it don't make it right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, we don't do it, but it don't make it right.
It's how you perceive it.
Communication is all about what is said and what's understood. You can't just put it on the person. You can't. That's just like telling your child, and coming at your child harsh or whatever, and then the child being upset and stuff, or offended, or they self-esteem is injured. Well, your feelings should be hurt because you should have perceived it better. That you can't put all of the
Of course not. Of course.
Talking about a child that you're having a one-on-one conversation with that you yelled at.
Right.
I'm talking in general to thousands of people that could possibly see this.
Exactly. That's a difference.
Every time I say talk about black men, I'm not going to say, okay, but this disclaimer, I'm not talking about all black men, just some of the ones.
Who
does
that?
Okay, I'm not talking about all black men.
But it's easy to do that. But it's easy. The same way you can say the same way we said.
Okay, here's what we need to do. Here's a homework assignment. This week, when you're watching podcasts, when you're listening to radio shows, when you are listening to these type of things, I want you to count how many times you get a disclaimer. And then when you're in a room with one person, the conversation is different. So y'all it's apples and oranges what y'all doing right now. So just pay attention this week. Pay attention because y'all dragging it.
No, I think
Dragging
again, going back to regardless of whether it's done or not, what I'm saying is I'm not saying it's not done, Angela. I'm saying I'm guilty of doing it, generalizing as well. But what I'm saying is it doesn't make it right. I don't care who says it, who does it, it doesn't make it right because it is still generalization.
I'm not calling that generalizing. So that's our difference there because I don't consider that generalizing at all. So that's where we're going to have to agree to disagree at because that's not generalizing. And you're calling it generalizing is absolutely wrong.
And Muhammad Ali said this. He was doing an interview, and it was an interview back in the day, the 70s or whatever, and 70s or early 80s. And a white lady stood up and said, well, you talk about all white people like all white people are bad. All white people are not racist. He said, if I have 1,000 rattlesnakes coming down that hallway trying to get to me, am I going to pick out the few that won't bite me and won't harm me and won't try, or I'm just going to shut the door on all of them and protect myself and be safe? That's the apples and oranges type of conversation that we're having here. Like, I'm of course not saying when I say black men, of course I'm not saying all black men, but when I'm making a statement like that, I'm not going to pick out the few that are not like that do take care of their children, that don't have a prison record, that don't manipulate and sexually assault or whatever women and all that kind of stuff. Like, I'm not going to pick out the few of the black. I'm just going to talk about them all in like, that's not generalization. Like,
well, we had a friend that did that. Okay. In past time, you had a problem and said that was wrong too. So the friend was talking about everybody. The friend was talking about all blacks. Okay, she said. Well,
how did she? Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Stephanie. Go ahead.
No, I'm gonna let you go. I think we're gonna have to agree to disagree on this. And I want to go back to what you said, Jerk, about once the red pill community stop doing it, then you'll stop doing it. And I agree with somebody else. That's kind of a childish approach to take it because in the conversations that we're having, we also got to understand we're wanting, if we're talking about we wanting community and we're wanting, then we got to come to a point we get an understanding of what our differences are and try to bridge the gap so that we can start building relationships, or else we're just going to be having this back and forth between black men and black women, and we ain't gonna get nowhere, and we're going to continue to have a divided community, and we're going to continue to not have marriages flourishing in our communities because the only thing we're doing is you're wrong for this and you're wrong for that. Yes, identify the things that we need to change. Identify, let black men know, y'all, this is what y'all are doing that is bothering us, that is causing us as women to be upset and angry and left out here alone. And then black men, y'all let us know, well, this is what we feel, But at some point, we got to come to some type of terms where we can understand each other, or at least try to get an understanding, or else we're going to still remain single. I mean, not to say nothing is wrong.
Right.
You can be happy and single.
You don't have to be single. because that's the wrong message. Because at the end of the day, it's not childish. Because at the end of the day, God made, and whoever saying that, they'll understand biblical principle. God made the man the head, and if he's going to lead the woman, he can't. A black man can't keep sitting pointing the finger that black women this, black women that. How many of these podcasts, these male podcasts, are the first ones that popped up? Women podcasts started popping up after this. Black men have degraded us for decades. This is not just something that we're having now. Black women have been having this discussion for decades. When black women start putting their foot down, they start moving. When they said black women weren't as easy and put out as easy as white women, they moved over to white women. They said they was easier to control. Now the white women that start waking up or whatever, won't put up with their foolishness. Now they're going way across the country to different countries, picking up vulnerable women in poverty situations just to have somebody that they want to submit to them when they have nothing to submit to. This is not something new. Black men have been doing this for decades. They are the ones marrying outside their race at a higher rate. They are the ones with the highest divorce rate.
Not all of us.
No matter who they marry.
Not all of us. Not
all black men, but the ones that are married outside the ones that marry have a higher divorce rate. If black women were such a problem, black women have been saying the same thing. If black men listen to us, the black men listen to us, the black men of today, we have to wake up and realize that they are like white men of society. They're not going to listen to you. They're not going to ever view you as equal. That's like asking white people to end the injustice against us when their whole culture, their whole society, their whole economy is built on our oppression. That's the same way with black men. Do you really think they're going to listen to us saying, well, we want y'all to stop doing this. We want y'all to actually be in the home with y'all kids. We want y'all to marry us. We want y'all to stop marrying outside our race. How many decades have we been saying that? And they still saying that we're nothing. And they flying all the way across the world to pick another woman saying that it's us when they are the ones with terrible statistics. They are the ones that have a higher rate. Our children have a higher rate of being married to unwed parents. They have a higher divorce rate again amongst anybody they marry. So they are the common denominator. We look at math here. Black men are the common. Well, excuse me. Some black men are the common denominator.
Here's the issue. Here's the issue I have with what you're saying. You said something. I have an issue with this. If you can talk about black men and say all of these disparaging things against us, and you call it speaking your truth. But if a black man has a grievance against a black woman and he generalizes it, now all of a sudden he's a hater, or he ain't no good, or he doing this, or he's tearing black women down.
No, not true. That's not true.
Y'all gotta let him finish.
No, that's how
it's not true.
But the number one
in my world, that's.
Go ahead, Marquel was saying something.
Go ahead, Ansel. Go ahead.
In my world, that's not true, because whatever the black man says, I have these conversations all the time, and I'm like, I have to be real. The black women that I'm around, that's not us. But I have heard your stories. I have heard other guys' stories, so I know these women exist. So whatever issues a black man has with a black woman, it is. I'm not saying he's a hater. I know that these men are spitting facts. But I also know they're not talking about all of us. I don't understand what's so hard to get with that. I know that he's not talking about all of us, but he is talking about a lot of them. And what they got to do with me? Why I got to be mad about it? He's telling the truth. Telling the truth.
Go ahead,
we live in a society where it's all about respect. The number one issue with black people is we just can't agree on one thing. Just one common cause.
We're not supposed to. We're not supposed to.
Hold on, what?
No, we ain't supposed to agree on one something. One.
We are. The Bible talks about being in unity and one accord. God wants us to be. That's why.
Well, we're not supposed to be on everything. Like not
just one thing.
I understand unity.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If we can agree on one thing, just build from now. Versus who ain't been this, who ain't been. Everybody's situation has been different. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. But when we're going to put the mess to the side and just be accountable for our own actions and respecting one another. That's the real issue. We just don't respect one another enough.
Yeah.
We can't respect each other.
And a lot of it, it's a systemic. It is something that is calculated systemically, because when you look at the music and stuff, and you listen to the music and you listen to the agenda, once people are promoted and put in high positions or whatever musically and stuff, they push this agenda, and people, we're not being cautious enough to understand, you know, if you're going to listen to this music, which I feel like a lot of this stuff we shouldn't even be listening to, a lot of this stuff we shouldn't be letting our spirits be entertained by, because it gets us caught up and get us, you know, in these type of mindsets where, you know, men are looking at women in certain ways and feel like it's okay to degrade them. Then women are looking at men in a certain ways. At the end of the day, a lot of this stuff is pushed as an agenda, and we don't even really see, and I'm going spiritual here, what the enemy is doing, how he's tearing up the community, how he's tearing up our homes and stuff because of an agenda that is being pushed. If we really, like Marquel, I agree, if we could really come to some terms of agreement and really sit down and have heart to heart, we could better understand each other, and we could come together and we could be dynamite. But because, like they said, we're so divided and there's so many, and we go back to this topic all of the time. Like I said, it's nothing wrong with having disagreements or misunderstandings, but at some point we're going to have to, and we can't keep beating each other down saying da 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 da. I understand. Trust me, I understand. I understand as a woman. I understand as a Black woman. I understand, especially in times where economic, you know, disparity is at an all-time high, and it is better to be partnered than it is to be alone. But at the end of the day, I can't take on this notion that every man is a dog, every man, because I have a nephew and I want him to know that he is an honorable Black man. I don't want him to look and see, and I don't know why I'm about to get emotional and want to cry, but I want him to know, like, you a strong Black man out here. I don't care what society says, and you can be somebody. I have a father who I love dearly, so I would not dare sit up and make it seem like every Black man is a dog, every Black man ain't nothing, he trash, all of that type of stuff. No, like, and at the end of the day, we want Black men to love us. So how are we going to get them to love us if we constantly generalize? Like we said, I'm not saying that they're right at things, and I'm not saying we should give them a pass, but I'm saying at the same time,
you can't make anybody love you either.
At what?
You can't make anybody love you.
You cannot make anybody love you.
Maybe not love it. And when I say something,
you can't say that.
I can't.
You're coming from a place of hurt.
I'm coming from a place of facts. I'm not the only one saying, look up your statistics. I'm not.
I know what statistics say.
Okay, well, if you look at statistics, you keep talking about what I'm saying is like I'm
not saying what you're saying is wrong.
Somewhere. What I'm saying is fact is not her.
It is.
Always assume it's not her.
No.
What I'm saying is facts. If there were so many good Black men out here, why are we? How many Black women do we know right now? Just in our group, who are single and unwed, and they're good quality women.
But Jerko,
that doesn't mean. But that doesn't mean that we could have been married.
And that doesn't mean. And listen, Jerko, I get what you're saying. What you're saying, yes, statistic, I know. And also, what I'm saying is, if we be honest too, some of us could have been married. I know that I could have been married by now, but at that time I wasn't ready, or either it wasn't a person I wanted to be married. So we can't sit up and say that we're just single because we just didn't have nobody that wanted us, nobody that wanted to deal with us. No, it was about the ones that that wanted us. We didn't want them. Hold on. And at the end of the day, statistics, yes, I know that their statistics are true. Statistics, yes, shows that there are a lot of brokenness in the Black male community and the Black women community. But at the same time, how long are we going to harbor on it? How long are we going to talk about, you ain't nothing, nigga. You ain't nothing. You done hurt me. You done did this. This all y'all do. Okay,
it's ninja. I believe it's ninja.
Ninja. Okay.
Well, what I'm saying is, Black women stopped doing that. We went and got our education. We became the most educated group. We became the most entrepreneurial group amongst. You can scratch your head all you want to. All you got to do is Google. These are plain facts. We became the most educated group. We became the most fast rising entrepreneurs. We did all that we were supposed to do. We said, okay, well, forget it, because Black men were saying at one point we were gold diggers. Now we too independent. No. So it's like, what is it? it. You can say all day, well, we need to come together. But black women have moved. We have advanced ourselves over and over again, and now they're saying now that we have advanced ourselves because they kept saying they don't want no gold diggers. Now we have advanced ourselves. Now they're saying they want soft, fit, submissive women that's still willing to pay 50-50. So what is it? They're gonna keep moving the goalposts.
Guess what? There's no truth. There's no truth in a whole demographic doing something. You just said black women came up. That's not true. Not every black woman did what she's supposed to do or is doing what she's supposed to do. Okay,
can we go to another conversation because I'm over it. I feel like y'all are mad at a point that she's making and dragging it.
Not a mad.
And I understand people speak. I saw a comment. This people coming from her. A lot of people really do speak based off of their experience, but sometimes it is not that. Sometimes people are mature enough to not do that. So it doesn't have to be hurt. It doesn't have to be, oh, this is just from her experience. No, it's not that all the time. And Stephanie, the way you just got emotional, I feel you. Hold on. I feel you wholeheartedly. To me, because it's like, is that what you're getting out of this? So there is this communication barrier or something, because if that's what you're getting out of this, that is sad to me. If you feel like we're saying niggas ain't nothing, the ninjas ain't the ninja, like if that is what you're getting out of it, that is sad. That's
not sad. That's the tone in which Jerka is presenting.
It's really not, and I think.
And I'm not trying to give a man the pass.
Nobody says this, but nobody has this rah-rah. Mark,
we do all the time.
I haven't seen anybody doing this rah-rah up under the red pill community when they generalize black women. No black men.
We get on them.
No, we don't, Stephanie. Black men are not on there saying stop talking about all black women. You see a few black women on there saying trying to defend ourselves, and we getting constantly attacked by black men saying what black women are. So nobody says, well, put a disclaimer on it. Put a disclaimer. Nobody ever told Kevin to put a disclaimer and say black women.
You just said, no. You just said attack. You just used the word attack. You go back. Let me go back to my point where I said for you, you're speaking. You just said black men are attacking women on that podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You said they attack them. How come?
I said attacking in the comments. Attacking the women in the comments that
you
are
said
saying,
it. You said.
No, I did not.
You use the language attack. Why is it that it has to be an attack from us, but for y'all it's speaking truth?
No, that's what I'm trying to get. Y'all, I'm speaking truth and y'all feeling there's attack. But black men say this about black women all the time, and nobody said, oh, you generalizing all black women. Stop it right now. Stop it. Put a disclaimer on there. Nobody says that. No, we do. But no black man says that. They don't feel it's attack when black men are talking about generalizing black women and saying, oh, black women have an attitude. Black women not submissive. Black women they so no black man is on there giving them a rah-rah saying, hold on, bro, say something. But black women have this complex of trying to save black men. It comes back, and I learned this, it comes back from history during the slave time, because black women knew that the black men had a harsher punishment for slavery death, so they sheltered them a lot more. They lied for them. They did it. So black women are still have that same mentality to cover black men. That's why you feel the need to come on here and cry, talking about I'm generalizing.
I don't feel the need to cry.
Wait a minute, hold on.
I don't feel the need to cry.
No, I'm saying you getting emotional about the.
I'm getting emotional whether it's a man.
Where was your emotion when Kevin Samuel was saying this? Where was your emotion?
I had a lot of emotion. What are you talking about?
Everybody in the group was
your son, but wasn't she talking about your son? And that's something that I
absolutely was.
Absolutely. Right. And so that's how you further know. Now a mother has more love for her child than an aunt. Am I correct? So that's how you further know I'm not talking about all black men when I'm saying black men, because I have a black son. So it's not that I'm generalizing. I'm just not putting a disclaimer that you all would want me to put in front of every time.
It's like it boils down to very, very emotional, very in your feelings to be so upset about a generalization.
That's
what we're arguing about. Hold on. That's that's what we're arguing about, because there's nobody on here that can say what Jerica is saying or what Mark is saying is not true for some black men or some black women. I never agree that for some
that's correct.
That's
There's
true.
more
But the fact that
in the word
it's
some. There's no truth in the word all. There's no truth. There is no truth in an implication. There's no truth in it. If you say some, okay, but I said it was implied. It was implied, and there's no truth. Angela, there's no truth. We're gonna agree. Is what I'm saying. Okay,
we're gonna agree to disagree. We can say.
I want to say one thing. I'm sorry.
Let's move on. No.
And I'm gonna shut up after this.
And then we saying emotional, but we can say, oh, a person get emotional. But there's a ton of things that y'all can get emotional about and have gotten emotional about, whether it's angry, sad, because if you feel like somebody's attacking you, I don't care how you're going to feel like. Mom said we allowing the enemy to come in this one topic.
We okay.
No, we did. We good.
We're okay, Mom. Yeah, we're okay. We're passionate right now. We're passionate right now, and we'll be talking and laughing after this, y'all. So I don't want y'all to think we get into these debates like this. It gets strong, but we'll still be friends afterwards, okay? But we can say you get emotional, but it's why would somebody get emotional about this? You're talking about community of people.
Not emotional, but too in your feelings. Too in your feelings. Taking it personal.
I'm not even in my feelings.
Okay, well, let me say this one last thing, and then we can. Let me say this one last thing, because you said something important. You said that all is implied. Okay, so when I say black men, why is it that y'all can't imply that I'm saying some? In your mind, you automatically imply that I'm saying all. So why is it? So that's just a mixture, like we say, of perspective. So that's all I'm gonna say of that. So it's just we're gonna agree to disagree. And let me put it out there to the audience. When I say black men, I am not talking about all black men. So from here on out, I probably won't say some
I knew that
all the time. So just so y'all know, this is a legend on the map. When you see me say black men, I'm saying some black men. I'm just putting that out there.
Mark, I told you you'll set the show on fire.
Oh yeah, I love it. I got so this is what we gonna do. So demon, you know what? Anyway, woosah. Thank you.
That's why he got on the red polo, the red horseman, y'all, the red horseman.
Jada says she has a question. What's your question, Jada?
What's the question? She ain't typing fast enough.
Then we'll go to the next topic. What we got, about 15, 20 more minutes?
Yeah, and I really want to get to this next topic. Just put it in there and we'll go. But listen, so we're just going to agree to disagree, and we'll also agree that Stephanie and myself are right. Amen. Listen. So moving on to the
Stephanie,
next
yourself
topic.
taking it too personal. Amen.
That's not
Jada asked her question. Jada asked her question.
What was put it back up there?
Relationship took some there.
She said, "Why is it that men that are in relationships take so long to marry?" That you know what?
They don't find marriage beneficial. They waiting on the next one. They always feel like black men have a man answer.
Go ahead.
Let me fix it. Men have an abundance. Some men have an abundance mindset. They feel like there's always good women out there for me. Women, on the other hand, have a scarcity mindset. Say, I better hold on to this one because I might not find another man that's giving me close to what he's got, or either it's better to hang on to the devil you know versus the devil you don't know. So that's why men take women to marry, because they feel like they have a lot of options, and before they marry, they want to make sure they are absolutely getting the woman that they think is the woman of their dreams.
Mark, we done went from trifling to devils now.
Oh yeah, I understand. Listen,
we don't want to try
you used to it at this point. A lot of times,
it is what it is.
He could not marry you for a plethora of reasons. Some could be money issues. Some could be because he's not ready. I don't necessarily think it takes a long time to really know if a person is for you or not. But it's what you're allowed to. If ain't nothing moving at a certain age by at least a year or two, you can leave. You don't have to stay. You don't have to hold on to anything. And to Jerica's point, even if a man had 10 women, he cannot go after all 10 women and still have a fully functioning day or week. He'll kill himself. He cannot pull it. He cannot do it.
It's hard.
So
I'm not saying he's juggling 10 women at one time, but what I'm saying is if a man is holding on to you in a relationship and has not married you, it's absolutely for a reason. Either he feel like it's most of the time he feel like it's better for him out there. They are hold
No,
on. It was a man that came
Jericho.
on. They did a TikTok interview with him, and he said, and a guy asked, he said, what is something, a secret that you would tell your ex-girlfriend if you could? And he said, I never liked her. And he said, dang, well, how long were y'all together? He said 5 years. So you mean to tell me this man was with this woman, held up her life for 5 years, and he didn't even like her? So that means he never even had any intentions on marrying her or anything. So that's what I'm saying. Men will hold on to your time to see if they can find something else better. That's why they can hold on to you for 3 or 4
What if he
years,
just not?
then meet a woman in 6 months and be married.
What if he just not ready? What about that? What if it's just that simple? He just not ready.
you gotta be happy with the fact that you may not just be the one for him.
But that's a decision. But then that's a responsibility on both people, because it's a responsibility for that man to be a man and say, hey, this not the one. As much as I might enjoy what I'm getting from her, whether it's conversation, whether it's sex, whether it's good food, whatever it is, he's got to be a man to say, I gotta cut you, I gotta let this go. And the woman got to understand if she want married at a certain time. If you see that this man is not making any strides on moving towards that, you don't see no progress. You got to be a woman, put on your grown woman panties and say, I got to go. As much as it hurts, as much as you might be attached to that man, as much as you might want it, as much as you might see all his potential, you got to say, I got to go, because I'm not fit to waste any more of my time. So it's responsibility on both parts. You can't put that on one person and not the other person, because at the end of the day, like we always say, and I'm not just, you got a choice. You got a choice. You don't have to stay in something and you see it's not progressive.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's beautiful. Listen, let's put it, and I agree with all of that. Let's put a pin in that, because I want to get y'all thoughts on this next topic. Okay, Marquel, I'm gonna start with you, and then we're gonna go around. The topic is you meet somebody, they have a child or they have children, and they bad as all get out. I mean, they some hell raisers, and the parent doesn't do anything really to discipline them. They say, well, I allow my kids to express themselves, and they just talking reckless. You know what I'm saying? And they're not mannerable or whatever. Is that a deal breaker for you? I mean, now she's a good woman. She's a good woman, but the kid's bad, and you don't agree with her parenting style.
Nah, it's a deal breaker, because eventually I'm express myself, and when I express myself, belts and everything coming out. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, we not doing it, because how they treat her is how they're gonna treat you eventually. And guess what? Guess what's gonna happen? They gonna treat her bad, still go in the house that you help paying bills for, and in your food, and look at you like, I dare you to say something. I'm gonna go tell my mama. Nah, we got to go. For my sanity, we got to
go. Angela.
That's you froze.
I would say that would. Am I froze?
No, we hear you. Go ahead.
We hear you now.
Okay. I would say that it's an unfortunate deal breaker. If it's just the kid, then unfortunately it's not going to work, because that's one thing I realized having children young, like, man, you really have to talk to people about how they parent, how they plan to parent. That is a huge thing. So if I'm not feeling the way you're parenting, what if we have a child together? Or I'm a mother figure, a woman to in your kids' lives, and you are a father figure or father to my kids. Like, no, we're going to have to click when it comes to that. So you're allowing the disrespect, and even my kids. I let my kids voice their opinions, but I have had to teach them you have to be respectful. Like, there's a way to express yourself. So if somebody came along and say, hey, I don't like how your daughter, I'm going to respect it and listen to it, because, hey, I don't have the father figure in the home. So I actually will respect and listen to what the man has to say. So, yeah, we'll have to come to a common ground on that.
Stephanie. Okay, good answer, Angela. I like that. Stephanie, you meet a man, he got a kid or maybe a couple of kids. They're a little spicy at the mouth, and you don't, and you don't like you don't like the way this man is parenting his kids. Is it a deal breaker, or do you offer some insight, or you voice your opinion? What do you do?
If it's in the beginning stage of the relationship, of course, you're assessing the situation, and depending on what the interest is with that man or whatever, definitely a conversation would have to be had. If he, is okay with it and he doesn't have any mindset to like try to correct them or get them in line, then absolutely not. Because at the end of the day, and I agree with Marquez, he said earlier how they treat him is they're only going to treat me even worse, because again, I'm the bonus parent, the step parent, whatever the case may be, however they look at me. And if he don't have no control over him, then you definitely not going to be able to come in and put no foot down if he feel like it's okay and they running amok. So absolutely, that would definitely be a deal breaker.
Okay, Jerica, what about you? And after you answer, I have a question for you and Angela, because y'all are the parents on the panel. So go ahead, and then I got a follow-up question for y'all. Go ahead.
Well, of course, absolutely, that's a deal breaker for me. That's when you're looking at somebody to court and date and eventually marry, you have to look at their parenting style and see if it's going to be compatible with yours, because eventually you may plan to have children with that person one day. And if their parenting style is totally different from mine, it's definitely a deal breaker, because I am not a gentle parent. I don't believe in gentle parenting. I believe in gently whooping your behind. I don't believe in abuse. It's a different, and it's a different, because it can be on a different spectrum, right? Where they are, in your eyes, kind of abusive of the child. They do too much discipline, too much punishment. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we definitely have to be on the same now.
So you don't try to offer some insight, like you don't try to ask about it versus
absolutely just not. That's their child. At the end of the day, that's their child, and 9 times out of 10, if we're dealing with a male of the same color as us, the child is living with the mother. So you're not dealing with that. You're not just dealing with that male disciplining their child or giving them advice about their child. You dealing with that mother, and that mother is the one that's really laying the foundation for that child, because she's raising that child 9 times out of 10. So no. I'm not offering no woman advice on how to raise her child, because I don't want nobody to offer me advice on how to raise mine.
That was my next question to you guys, because Angela, you have children, Jerica, you have children. So if a guy you were dating offered his insight or expertise on your parenting style, like how do you take that?
You said what now?
I said you're dating a guy that likes to input his feedback or his expertise on your parenting style, and maybe just offer some suggestions or whatever. How do you guys feel about that? You know what I'm saying? Especially in the beginning stages.
In the beginning stages, we're just dating. No. Now, once we have become exclusively dating, then absolutely I would hear what you, because in my last relationship or whatever, after some, I didn't introduce my kids right away till we were like 6 months into the relationship, and after we became exclusive, but he did give me pointers, him being a male, gave me a lot of insight, what I'm saying, on how I deal with my son. So I will take, pointers, ideas, advice, but at the same time, if we're just dating and we're not married, then you don't, have that right to discipline my child in that way.
I am totally, I'm okay with him giving input. Like I said earlier, there is not a man in our home, and that is one thing that I can be honest and say, like, man. So my kids are half grown, and they did not grow up with the man in the home. So that is something I do wish I could still give them, and there's still some time, but yes, I'm open to it. I feel like there is
some connection issues.
That is beautiful when that man can be a father figure and give his input.
Listen,
and
I don't know if
father.
you guys can hear me or not, but we have some. Okay, there we go.
We can hear you.
Yeah, I heard.
Okay, Angela, can you? I'm sorry, because everything had cut out and everybody's screen had went blank. So start your answer back from when you said there's no man in your home.
Okay, yeah. So with there being no man in my home, that's something that, yeah, I'm fine with the input. If first of all, if we're dating and it's just kind of fresh, you're not around my kids. But if you happen to have overheard something and you give an input, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, it is what it is. So I don't have a problem with input. Do I have to take your advice, or if you're coming too strong and you on some messy stuff, I mean, I can distinguish what's real and what's not. So I don't have a problem with input, not at all.
Okay. There was a young lady who we crossed paths some years ago, many, many years ago, and she used to go to church with us. And she came to me one day and she asked, she had a young son at the time, and she asked, she was like, listen, would you take an interest? We weren't dating or anything like that, nothing like that. She says, would you take an interest in my son? You know, I was a musician at the time. I've been a drummer for a number of years. And so, every little boy loved the drums. And she was like, he loved drums, he loved sports and blah, 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 blah. Would you take an interest in my son? Me not realizing that she was using her son as a pawn to try and get closer to me. Because
don't flatter yourself.
My man.
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying?
My man.
I'm just saying, go ahead.
My man.
Jerica, you so low down.
My man.
She got such a maniacal laugh too, like an evil genius or something. Anyway. But she used it as a pawn to get closer to me. And every time we fell out, she would say, well, you can't see my son. And I grew to love this little boy like my own. I really did. He got up under my skin real quick. And but anytime she got upset at me for whatever reason, she would be like, well, you can't see my son no more. He don't need you and all this other stuff. And we've established this bond and everything. And I'm going over here picking him up and taking him to get haircuts and taking him to the game and stuff like that. And I'm like, why? And I felt like the baby daddy. I did. I felt like baby daddy. And you know what's crazy? And I hate to admit this, but I see why her baby daddy wasn't in her life. I see why he wasn't in her life. It was a bad situation, very manipulative, and it was just like,
yeah.
What are your thoughts about that? Using the child as a pawn, to hurt this man.
If she did that to you, I know she gave that baby daddy all kind of trouble. Clearly,
she did.
That's a problem.
Gave him hell. Has that ever have? I want y'all to admit something. Keep it a buck with me. Have either one of you ever done that with your children's father? No. Oh, it got quiet, Michael.
Absolutely not. I haven't.
You've never done that?
Oh no. It must have definitely frozen because I have absolutely never anything like that. Even I think I'm freezing up now.
See that?
But I talk to single mothers about this often, and I tell my story. Whatever. Seriously, my oldest daughter, her dad was very, very much a trifling daddy. Okay, he was a trifling daddy from the jump. But I tell my story like me being patient and me flipping the script instead of arguing attitude. I purposely started thanking him for the smallest of things, and reason he began to change, and I realized who he was in the beginning. He's not that now. So when she turned about 5, he completely changed. And I always say door open. Whatever he's doing, keep the door open, because your child gonna know the truth eventually. So I'm never keeping no kid away or using a kid as a pawn. If anything, I was the one keeping the door open no matter what.
Commend you on that.
Jerica? Oh, this should be good right here. First of all,
I've never withheld my children from their fathers, unless I had valid reason to. If my child's safety is number one. So if I don't feel like the environment is safe for my child, if I don't feel like if they're not comfortable in the situation, then I'm not going to make them go over there. I'm not going to force them to be around anybody, blood or not, because we see men are killing their own children. Let me say
some
black men
please put a disclaimer on there.
So I don't put my child.
Jerica, I can give you a pass on the whole black men thing, but please put a disclaimer on the men that's out here killing their children, please.
I said some. We see unfortunately the little boy that just lost his life a few weeks ago. We see the little girl that was tragically killed by her father and her stepmother. So, if I feel like their safety is at all in danger, then absolutely not. I'm not going to allow my child to be in a situation I don't feel like it's beneficial for them. But other than that, no, I don't withhold my children from their fathers.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I was, because I think that's just.
So, okay, how about this? I think that some women will use that. Well, my kid's safety, because I can remember when I started, when my daughter started visiting her dad after she wasn't so much, I had a fear. It's like, well, she don't even know him that much. She haven't been around his family much. So I personally had a fear, not really knowing exactly what the environment was, but I have to be real with myself. I know this man and his mom, I know enough about them. They are not about to have her in a horrible environment. So I believe some women can and will use that, their personal fear, as, oh, well, is it safe? It might not be safe. Some women do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, follow-up question. Let's say you're dating this guy or whatever, and well, let's say you were with the fathers of your children, but you don't get along with his mama. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. And I mean, she hates your guts. And you don't like her much neither. He comes and says, I want to take my child over to my mama's house for, where they having a cookout, barbecue, all that good stuff. He's a good dad. He's a very good dad. But you and that mama just do not get along. And you don't, and you can see the toxicity in her personality. Does that child get to go visit Marquel?
Somebody
said Marquel. He said,
"Oh, my bad."
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because I want everybody to answer. Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, I don't want to hold nobody back from nobody, because they're gonna encounter toxic stuff all day long at school, in the world. Not everything you're gonna be able to control. So, yeah, I say, listen, I'm gonna send my child over there and ask them, hey, what happened over there? What they tell you? What they say? I'll make sure my child have on a full body cam. You know what I mean? So I can see it myself.
Okay. So. Steph, hold on to your answer, Angela. Steph, let me come to you, and then I want to get the two parents last. So, Steph, like I said, you got a child and everything with your husband or with or whoever. The mother is completely toxic. She talks bad about you to the child, but he's a good father, and he wants her to know his side of the family. What does that conversation look like?
It's a very complex situation, of course, because at the end of the day, if she's just toxic, that's one thing, which is bad. But then if she's toxic and talking to my child about me, that's definitely bad. So, of course, me and my husband going to have a conversation about it. And, I'm going to have to see where his head is at on it. I would have some conversations with my child. At the end of the day, if I know that the mother does love my child, she's not doing anything, like she don't have a vendetta against my child and mistreating my child, there is some room for me to still let her see the child. But if she continues to speak negative about me to my child, then I would have to pull back and, and there be some restraints, whether I'm going to either be going around while my child see you or something, or my husband will have to be around you while the child is visiting you, so that we know, what I'm saying, you're not, putting just toxic stuff in my child, because at the end of the day, I wouldn't want my child to be in between such a toxic situation like that. So yeah, that's kind of where I try to handle it.
Angela, his mama don't like nothing about you. Nothing. I mean, even down to your edges. She don't like nothing about you.
These scenarios are but you said something important. He's a good father.
Right.
So my child, like Marquel said, the baby gonna see some toxic stuff, probably on my side of the family somewhere, in school. Hey, they ain't gonna get away from it. So the child is with their father, and I'm trusting that. And me, I'm gonna go into prayer so that hopefully me and Mama don't get to fighting. But hey, things can change. So my baby can go. I'm not tripping on that. I'm not.
Okay. Oh Lord, good old Jericho.
My answer coincides with Stephanie's answer. Long as if she now, because that's what I was going to say. Are we saying that she's talking bad about me and things like that? Because anybody that's talking bad about me or trying to put disparaging thoughts in my child's head about me, you can't be around my child, because at the end of the day, I'm gonna have to be the one that raised that child. I'm gonna be with that child 24/7, and you're putting poisonous thoughts in my child's head that could potentially cause that child to disrespect me, the hand that feeds it. That's absolutely not. So if that's the case, no, they will not be going over there until my child is old enough to decipher, because children at a young age are too impressionable for me to send to somebody who's putting negative comments in my child's head about me. So if they got older and
this is why it's hard for me to. I'm sorry, I cut you off. Forgive me.
No, I'm listening. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, this is why it'd be hard for me to have conversations in settings like this, because we can get so off topic. He didn't say that the woman was putting negative things in the kid's ear. Like, that absolutely would change everything. He said she can't stand you. She can't stand you, but the father is a good father. So based off of that, we don't know if that woman is talking crazy to you, child, about you.
Then we just talked to Stephanie. He said if the woman is.
Yeah, he did mention that in the scenario when he came to me. He mentioned that.
Yeah, so if that's the case, then yeah. But if she's not abusive, and like you say, he's a good father, and I know that, I can assure that he's not going to allow my child to be hurt by anyone in his presence, including his own mother, then I'm all for it. But if she's spewing bad things about me, then no, it's a negative.
Marquel.
Yes, sir.
Your girl and your mama get into a bad argument. Y'all somewhere, y'all in the same space. They get into a real bad argument. Your girl said, "I'm ready to go. Let's go." Your mama said, "Sit your tail down." What are you doing?
Going with the one that decides to have my child. Going with it. You know how they make you look in front of your girl? Like my mama said, sit down. She'll never respect you again, dog. Like, she will never respect you again. We got to go with the woman. Mama understand.
So all right. So where your bread is buttered at. Okay, I got you. Yeah. Steph, your man, your husband. No, I ain't gonna say husband, but let's say you engaged. Your fiance and your daddy get into a heated argument. It gets disrespectful.
Well, it turn up
because they both feel strong about their viewpoints. Your man says, "We out of here." Your daddy says, "Steph, sit your tail down. You ain't going nowhere with this man." What are we doing?
Who was more at fault? Who in the wrong?
They have opposing viewpoints. Like, like political. Would you say political? Like, because in politics, it's like who's right, who's wrong. You just got opposing viewpoints. They're both arguing, but it get a little turned up. Your man says, "We out of here." Your daddy said, "You ain't going nowhere with my daughter."
That's a tough one, cause it's a tough one. Oh, that's a tough one, cause my dad is very, very.
Look at your mama to my daddy might shoot him.
Yeah, when he was able, he might. I would if my man if I'm with a good man, which if we really got to engagement, he's a good man. I would leave with my man, and I we'll have a conversation. I'm gonna let my dad know, like, Dad, we're gonna have y'all calm down. So of course I'm gonna try to
de-escalate.
What is it? De-escalate the situation and things of that sort. If it's a good man and everything, then I'll go ahead and go with my man. Of course, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go with my man. This is hard with my man.
Hold on.
My daddy.
Are you trying to convince us or yourself?
That's what I'm saying.
Your future husband looking at these now.
Right. I'm gonna go with my man. It's one of the things. It's challenging, but I'm gonna go with my man. But like I said, I'm gonna have a conversation with both of them. I'm gonna try to de-escalate, and hopefully, before we leave, they didn't came to some type of commonality and common ground.
What's this coming to? Y'all know y'all daddy personality. Okay. You know what? I believe your daddy is back crazy because Jericho had to get it from somewhere.
I have his personality to a T.
They're very bullheaded. Very, very bullheaded. But we done lost our facilitator. I want to just take this time and say thank y'all for those who have stayed on with us. Thank y'all for those who have chimed in and voiced your comments. We love it. Of course, as y'all can see, it definitely gets heated. It definitely gets, there are misunderstandings. I was just kind of talking as I know we're getting ready to close. We're almost at a 2-hour mark. At the 2-hour mark, but it's been very Tam, we love you too, and thank you so much. I love you. The fact that you're able to chime in and and we and hopefully y'all know we don't take it personally. Hopefully, even with the comments that might be stated in regards to what y'all state is not personal. We all have our different point of view and things. And we saw one person say he couldn't take it no more. I hope we ain't lost a viewer. We haven't lost a long time.
No. Somebody called me. My dad had called me and it knocked everything out. But
no, I was talking about earlier. Mr. Butler said he couldn't take it no more. I said, hopefully we ain't lost a long time.
Oh, okay.
So I said, God bless. We love you in regard.
We love you, Carl. I thought we had lost our friend.
You said I was about to send you blessings. I thought you were.
Don't do our friend like the Butler. We love the Butler. I was like, we done lost them. We done lost some view.
Yeah, but just so our viewers know, like you said, Stephanie, we really do love each other. I love Jericho to death, and whenever we get off this podcast, every time we always laugh and chop it up, and it's number love whenever we see each other. Right. So I don't want y'all. Yeah, we do. We communicate. We talk trash. We share videos and other topics with each other, and Jericho gonna always find something to prove her point. Always, she gonna find a video, a TikTok.
With her, Angela and Marquell, they definitely gonna keep us informed of the latest info out here. So,
see, I be like, ain't y'all at work? Do something.
But yeah,
but this been good. This been real good.
Yeah. Good job, Mark. Good job. We give you kudos to you.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Mom. Can't wait for the live podcast. Yes. Y'all mark y'all calendars October the 14th at 6:30. If y'all love it, if y'all love what y'all see virtually, then y'all can only imagine the fun that we're going to have. the fun that we're gonna have in person. Paul said Mark and Jerk will be a good couple in a different lifetime. Yay, Sam, thank you.
What?
He said y'all will be a good couple.
Oh Lord, me and
yeah, we didn't want to make it to the next lifetime.
We'll be OJ and Nicole. We'll be OJ and Nicole. That's what that is. We'll get me and Jericho will have a Lifetime movie after us.
Now everything else.
All that if me and Jericho was the date, that would be an episode of Family Attraction.
Absolutely.
We'll be on TV One.
Please don't try to put us together.
No.
You know what they say all that, and they probably be one of the best couples.
No.
Right. All right.
She be cooking all his fried chicken or making sure his red greens. He makes sure the house feels safe. You said what?
Stephanie, you think I'm gonna eat her food?
Making the black man sick.
She talk all that junk. She went party. She'll treat you so right. You wouldn't never want to leave. She just talk a lot of junk.
Look, that's what I know. I have Mark whipped in shape. He can't have no one like me. I have them whipped in shape.
No, you wouldn't. You'll either have me on cell block B or have me in ICU.
I have you whipped in shape. One of the two.
You have me in the hospital or prison. That's where I'm gonna end up.
Yeah, the hospital.
Either way, I'm gonna need good insurance
because I'm gonna either need to retain a lawyer or a doctor.
I already know.
Retain your doctor because you can't do nothing to me.
Hey, Tressa.
But why you calling the doctor? Go ahead and pick out your casket too. And
why she talking about black men out here killing their children? She out here killing black men.
Look,
she out here killing.
I got a bunch of toe tags. I'm ready for them.
Y'all
I bought a pack of toe tags from Amazon. I'm ready for them. I'm ready to put some tags on some toes. They need to get up out of here.
Jerica, stop talking.
Y'all see what we have to deal with? Oh my God!
Stop talking, Jerica.
All right, we had 2 hours. I gotta let y'all go. I'll see y'all at the live show.
Y'all come to the live there. Again, we're gonna have comedy. We're gonna have food. We're gonna have what is it? What do you call it, y'all?
Spoken word.
Spoken word. We also gonna have what is it? We're gonna try to hook some people up, see if we can get some matchmaking going on.
Couple games.
Yeah, love connection. We already got one guy in that has agreed, so we're gonna see. Hey, we can do a couple of them. So y'all single ladies, we'll tell you about it. Y'all single ladies, y'all come on out. Married couples, y'all are welcome to come in and chime in with this foolishness that we got going on. We welcome it. But again, we love y'all so much. Thank y'all for joining and tuning in with us. We really do appreciate it. And until next time, we say y'all be loved, be blessed, be favored. We love y'all.
Love y'all.
Bye.
Peace out. Peace.